This is United Up TV again. Man United can target little-known, remarkable, £8.68 million Carlos Baleba alternative Amorim would love. Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba continues to be linked with a move to Man United. Manchester United's priority in the transfer market all summer has been resolving last season's goal-scoring woes. Only 4 teams scored fewer goals in the Premier League last term than United, and 3 of them ended up being relegated to the Championship. But with the arrivals of Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo and their pursuit of Benjamin Sesko looking like it is going to reach a successful conclusion, the tension over the last 24 hours has turned towards what is next for United in the transfer market. It is hardly a secret that Ruben Amorim wants more dynamism in his midfield, and after the departure of Christian Eriksen this summer, United need another body in midfield to compete with Bruno Fernandes, Manuel Ugarte, and Kobbie Mainoo for a starting place. And their search has seemingly taken them towards Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder Carlos Baleba, who is said to be a leading target for United this summer. The 21-year-old is an international teammate of United stars Mbeumo and Andre Onana and has impressed at Premier League level for the Seagulls across the last couple of seasons. His mentality and attitude are credited among his biggest strengths, and, on the evidence of what we have seen during his time at the Amex Stadium, he is exactly the kind of player Amorim covets in his midfield. The problem is Brighton owner Tony Bloom is renowned as a master negotiator and a tough seller. Brighton have negotiated large fees for the likes of Moises Caicedo, João Pedro, Yves Bissouma, Marc Cucurella, Alexis Mac Allister and Ben White in recent seasons. Baleba will be a difficult and expensive transfer to make, and while he may be one of United's top targets, they may well be forced to seek possible alternatives. With that in mind, using DataMB's player similarity generator tool to bring up players with similar characteristics to Baleba, one of the top results is a little-known German midfielder who has been a revelation for Freiburg in the Bundesliga. Patrick Osterhage joined the German side from Wellcome last summer and made 30 league appearances last term to help his side almost qualify for the Champions League. The 25-year-old was seen as an astute buy, and his ability to screen the back four at the base of their midfield was one of the big reasons behind their success last term. Speaking after his arrival at the Europa Park Stadion, Freiburg sporting director Clemens Hartenbach not only praised his ability on the pitch but also cited his character away from the field as a big reason as to why they chose to sign him. "We've had our eye on Patrick for a number of years," Hartenbach said. "When he was younger, he battled through tough times thanks to his remarkable attitude. He can play anywhere in the midfield and we're convinced that he still has a lot of potential. Patrick can pass well, but also likes to shoot himself. He'll be a great addition to the side given his dynamism, pace and excellent stamina. We're really excited." And while Osterhage's physical qualities would appeal to Amorim, that attitude is something the United boss is demanding from his United side. "It is a key point in our way to do things now," Amorim said when discussing why United signed Mbeumo and Cunha this summer. "It's not just how they play, it's really important of course, but the character is really important. We took a lot of time to know the players, to talk with everybody before we bring a player to our group. That is going to be massive in our decision to bring players." Transfermarkt value him at £8.68 million, and given he has the qualities Amorim seeks from new arrivals, he could prove to be an absolute steal as a possible Baleba alternative. Brighton have reportedly set a staggering asking price for Manchester United target Carlos Baleba. The Red Devils are said to have made contact with the Seagulls to explore the conditions of a deal for midfielder this summer, though an agreement appears difficult. The 21-year-old enjoyed an impressive campaign in 2024-25 for Brighton, featuring 34 times in the Premier League and scoring 3 goals for Fabian Hürzeler's side. United are closing in on their third major addition of the summer, with RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko having tabled a £74 million bid this week, with personal terms already agreed between player and club. This move would shoot Ruben Amorim's summer spending past the £200 million mark, with Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo and Diego Leon already joining for a combined £134.5 million. Now, Ruben Amorim's summer spending could exceed the £300 million mark if they move for Baleba. The Cameroon international is valued at a whopping €120 million, £104 million, by Brighton, according to ESPN. The Athletic reports that a move for the youngster is improbable unless United are able to secure a series of lucrative sales before the window closes at the start of next month. Baleba has 3 years remaining on his contract with an option to extend for a further 12 months at the Amex, and is believed to be happy to stay on the south coast of England. Despite Amorim moving quickly to solve his side's attacking woes from last season, there is still a desire to improve their midfield ranks. United currently have Casemiro, Manuel Ugarte, and Toby Collier in their ranks, while Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo can also be deployed in the central midfielder positions in Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 formation. Baleba rose through local sides Future Soccer FC and the École de Football des Brasseries to Cameroun Academy Centre before catching the eye of European scouts. He joined Lille in January 2022, initially featuring for the reserve side before making his professional debut in League One in August that year. In August 2023, Brighton and Hove Albion signed him on a 5-year deal for around £25 million. He has since made 61 Premier League appearances and was voted Brighton's Player of the Season in 2024-25. Benjamin Sesko tried to evade the cameras as he arrived in Manchester to complete his medical ahead of a £74 million transfer to the Red Devils. It follows reports on Thursday that the striker agreed to waive part of his salary to complete the move to Old Trafford, despite being offered more money by Newcastle. Sesko has been on United's radar for the past 6 years, but he now finally looks set to make the move to Old Trafford after being given permission to travel to Manchester for a medical. Daily Mail Sport understands United have agreed a deal worth an initial £66.4 million, with a further £7.4 million in add-ons. Newcastle United offered more to RB Leipzig, but the player's preference to join Manchester United was decisive in finding a quick resolution to the situation this week. According to Sky Germany, the Magpies' grandiose proposal did not only extend to the Bundesliga club. In fact, Newcastle offered the player better terms, which he has foregone in order to move to Old Trafford. The outlet claimed that the 22-year-old has agreed to waive a portion of his wage at United in order to help make the move possible. It has not been stated how much he is set to earn with the Red Devils. However, reports in Slovenia have claimed that the striker is set to pocket £160,000 per week, with a 25% increase to £200,000 per week if United qualify for the Champions League. The report also claimed that Sesko's agency, led by Elvis Bosanovic, have waived some of their commission from the deal in order to get the transfer over the line. Welcome to United Up TV. Benjamin Sesko given permission to undergo medical as Man United agree £74 million deal after pipping Newcastle to highly rated star. Manchester United's summer overhaul took another step towards completion after they struck a £73.8 million deal with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko. Sesko has been on United's radar for the past 6 years, but he now finally looks set to make the move to Old Trafford after being given permission to travel to Manchester for a medical. Daily Mail Sport understands United have agreed a deal worth an initial £66.4 million, with a further £7.4 million in add-ons. Newcastle United offered more to RB Leipzig, but the player's preference to join Manchester United was decisive in finding a quick resolution to the situation this week. The 22-year-old will arrive to complete a total overhaul of Ruben Amorim's attack for the upcoming season, with Matheus Cunha arriving from Wolves for £62.5 million and Bryan Mbeumo joining from Brentford in a deal worth £71 million. Sesko is viewed internally at United as having superstar potential, and he will look to kick on after scoring 21 goals in all competitions for RB Leipzig last season. Since moving to Germany from Red Bull Salzburg, Sesko has scored 39 goals and added 8 assists in 87 games. United have stayed tight-lipped throughout the pursuit of the Slovenia international, who has been capped 41 times by his country, allowing Newcastle to dictate the early stages of the bidding process. Newcastle made 2 attempts to strike a deal for the 22-year-old before Manchester United officially entered the bidding on Tuesday. The North East side had identified Sesko as a replacement for Alexander Isak, who is focused on joining Liverpool this summer. The Merseysiders have already had a £110 million bid for Isak rejected and are unlikely to return with a better offer until Newcastle have a new striker in place. Manchester United, meanwhile, have been keen to sign a centre-forward this summer after seeing original number 1 target Liam Delap opt for Chelsea, and Hugo Ekitike and Victor Gyokeres go to Liverpool and Arsenal respectively. What a move for Sesko does now do is raise serious questions over the future of Rasmus Højlund, who could be attainable for £30 million. AC Milan are exploring whether that's a financially viable deal, after Inter Milan earlier in the summer went in a different direction. Højlund spoke on pre-season of how he wants to stay and fight for his place. Benjamin Sesko tried to evade the cameras as he arrived in Manchester to complete his medical ahead of a £74 million transfer to the Red Devils. It follows reports on Thursday that the striker agreed to waive part of his salary to complete the move to Old Trafford, despite being offered more money by Newcastle. Sesko has been on United's radar for the past 6 years, but he now finally looks set to make the move to Old Trafford after being given permission to travel to Manchester for a medical. Daily Mail Sport understands United have agreed a deal worth an initial £66.4 million, with a further £7.4 million in add-ons. Newcastle United offered more to RB Leipzig, but the player's preference to join Manchester United was decisive in finding a quick resolution to the situation this week. According to Sky Germany, the Magpies' grandiose proposal did not only extend to the Bundesliga club. In fact, Newcastle offered the player better terms, which he has foregone in order to move to Old Trafford. The outlet claimed that the 22-year-old has agreed to waive a portion of his wage at United in order to help make the move possible. It has not been stated how much he is set to earn with the Red Devils. However, reports in Slovenia have claimed that the striker is set to pocket £160,000 per week, with a 25% increase to £200,000 per week if United qualify for the Champions League. The report also claimed that Sesko's agency, led by Elvis Basanovic, have waived some of their commission from the deal in order to get the transfer over the line. United's deal for the Slovenian striker also includes a future friendly match between Leipzig and the Red Devils at the German club's Red Bull Arena. On Thursday, Fabrizio Romano posted an image of the striker, who has scored 39 goals and added 8 assists in 87 games since moving to Germany from Red Bull Salzburg, alongside his agent has travelled to Manchester to undergo his medical. Additionally, he claimed that Sesko, who landed in the northwest on Thursday night, will be unveiled as a United player on Saturday. The attacker will arrive to complete a total overhaul of Ruben Amorim's attack for the upcoming season, with Matheus Cunha arriving from Wolves for £62.5 million and Bryan Mbeumo joining from Brentford in a deal worth £71 million. Sesko is viewed internally at United as having superstar potential, and he will look to kick on after scoring 21 goals in all competitions for RB Leipzig last season. A Manchester United fan has set up a GoFundMe page to try and raise funds for the club to sign Carlos Baleba from Brighton. The Red Devils are said to have made contact with Brighton to explore the conditions of a deal for midfielder this summer, though a potential deal appears difficult. The 21-year-old enjoyed an impressive campaign for the Seagulls, featuring 34 times in the Premier League and scoring 3 goals for Fabian Herzler's side. United, who are closing in on their third major addition of the summer in RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, are among the many suitors of the Cameroon international and have made contact with Brighton through intermediaries, a report has claimed. According to The Athletic, the Red Devils have relayed their interest in the midfielder, who has 3 years remaining on his contract with an option to extend for a further 12 months at the Amex. And, while United may be struggling for money as they tread a PSR wire amid the arrivals of Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo for £62.5 million and £71 million respectively, one fan has taken things into their own hands to try and raise some money. Supporter Ian M., who is from England, organised a fundraiser on Wednesday night, titled Baleba to Man United Fund, accompanied by a picture of Baleba in a Brighton shirt. The description reads, "We need this to happen, we need this to happen, we need this to happen, we need this to happen," with a £120 million target set. There are currently 0 donations. When accessing the website, there is a notification reading, "Give £20 and be one of the first to donate. Your donation is the start of Ian's journey to success. Your early support inspires others to donate." There is an acknowledgement that a switch this summer may be unrealistic, given Brighton's unwillingness to sell and United's outlay in this window. The report claims that a move for the youngster is improbable unless United are able to secure a series of lucrative sales before the window closes at the start of next month. The addition of Sesko will take their outlay to almost £200 million, the third highest in the division after Liverpool and Chelsea. There is still a desire to improve their midfield ranks, however. United currently have Casemiro, Manuel Ugarte, and Toby Collier in their ranks, while Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo can also be deployed in the central midfielder positions in Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 formation. Manchester United are on the verge of completing the transfer of Benjamin Sesko this week as full agreement has been reached. The attacking transformation at Manchester United is done, with Benjamin Sesko becoming the cherry on top of an already very exciting cake.
Breaking news. Manchester United winger Alejandro Garnacho reacts to Chelsea transfer link. Manchester United winger Alejandro Garnacho has appeared to endorse a transfer to Chelsea this summer with his latest activity on Instagram. Garnacho wants to leave United this summer but is keen to remain in the Premier League and join a Champions League club, which makes Chelsea favourites for his signature. The Argentina international fell out with Ruben Amorim at the end of last season and has been omitted from the club's pre-season tour of the United States. United are open to selling Garnacho and would be willing to accept a £40 million transfer fee for the 21-year-old after initially asking for £70 million in the January window when both Chelsea and Napoli were interested. Garnacho, meanwhile, has made his feelings clear on his preferred move as he liked Fabrizio Romano's Instagram post on Saturday night which stated that he remains on Chelsea's shortlist alongside RB Leipzig midfielder Xavi Simons. Romano's post on Instagram read, "Chelsea plan moves for both Garnacho and Xavi Simons, separate topics. Negotiations are advanced for Xavi as priority with RB Leipzig aware of players' clear desire to join Chelsea. Garnacho remains on the list for later in August. There are no talks now, but Chelsea keep his name on list. Xavi Simons and Garnacho are both targets if players up front leave, not alternative but both high on the list. Joao Felix left, then Gil, Broja, Nkunku, Jackson and Sterling can also follow, key to get new signings. Alejandro Garnacho transfer, Chelsea make bold decision on Man United star. Chelsea could come to Manchester United's rescue during the ongoing summer transfer window. United are prepared to go head-to-head with Newcastle United for Benjamin Sesko, who is valued at around €80 million by RB Leipzig. Having already spent around €150 million on Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, United were expected to sell their high-profile outcasts before pursuing a deal for a new striker. However, according to the Manchester Evening News, United are confident of financing a deal for Sesko before making any major sale. That being said, United still intend to raise funds through sales, as they need to address other areas of the squad as well. Chelsea could help their cause by taking a misfit off their hands. Chelsea ready to go all out for Man United winger. According to fixtures, Chelsea are aiming to seal the deal as quickly as possible for Xavi Simons and Alejandro Garnacho. It is claimed the Blues are willing to invest around €120 million to bring the pair to Stamford Bridge before the start of the season. Both Simons and Garnacho are understood to be valued at around €60 million by their respective clubs. Still, Chelsea are not walking away, and are prepared to negotiate and close the deal as quickly as possible. However, the Spanish outlet underlined that talks between United and Chelsea for the Argentina international are not advanced yet. Still, he is considered one of their priorities. The report further states, if all goes according to plan, the club could close both deals in the coming days and make a statement. Garnacho will not join Besiktas. Earlier today, Garnacho was linked with a move to Besiktas, who are currently led by United legend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Italian journalist Fabrizio Romano quickly poured cold water on the suggestion, insisting the Argentine wants to stay in the Premier League. In recent days, Tottenham Hotspur have also shown interest in Garnacho, who is reportedly viewed as Son Heung-min's possible replacement in North London. At the moment, however, it is safe to assume Chelsea are in the driving seat for the 21-year-old signature. Is Alejandro Garnacho really heading to Chelsea? The transfer story everyone's talking about. Picture this, a 21-year-old winger who was once seen as Manchester United's next big star is now looking for a way out. And guess who's waiting with open arms? Chelsea. But here's the twist, United are willing to let him go for almost half the price they wanted just 6 months ago. Sound too good to be true? Let's dive into the Alejandro Garnacho transfer saga that has football fans everywhere asking one simple question: is this really happening? The big picture, what's going on? If you've been following football this summer, you've probably heard whispers about Garnacho wanting to leave Old Trafford. But this isn't just another rumour mill story. This one has legs, and here's why. Garnacho, the young Argentine winger who burst onto the scene with some brilliant performances, is apparently ready to pack his bags and leave Manchester United. The reason? He wants to play Champions League football, and let's be honest, United's recent form doesn't guarantee that. But here's where it gets interesting. Garnacho doesn't want to leave England. He likes the Premier League, and who can blame him? It's the most exciting league in the world. So where does a talented young player go when he wants Champions League football without leaving England? You guessed it, Chelsea. Why Chelsea makes perfect sense. Think about it for a moment. What does Garnacho want? Champions League football and Premier League action. What can Chelsea offer? Exactly that. Chelsea finished in the top 4 last season, which means they're back in Europe's top competition. For a 21-year-old player who wants to test himself against the best, that's exactly what he needs. But there's more to it than just Champions League qualification. Chelsea have been building something special under their current management. They've been investing in young talent, and Garnacho would fit perfectly into their long-term plans. The London club has also shown they are willing to spend money on the right players. And if the reports are true, they might be getting Garnacho for a bargain price. The money talk, from £70 million to £40 million. What happened? Here's where this story gets really interesting. Back in January, Manchester United were asking for £70 million for Garnacho. That's serious money, the kind of fee that makes even the biggest clubs think twice. But now? They are apparently willing to accept £40 million. That's a massive £30 million drop in just 6 months. Why would United slash their asking price so dramatically? The answer might lie in what's been happening behind the scenes at Old Trafford. The falling out, what went wrong with Amorim? Football is as much about relationships as it is about talent. And according to reports, the relationship between Garnacho and manager Ruben Amorim hit a rough patch at the end of last season. We don't know all the details about what caused this falling out, but in football, these things happen more often than you might think. Sometimes it's about playing time, sometimes it's about tactics, and sometimes it's just a clash of personalities. What we do know is that this apparent disagreement has had real consequences. Garnacho was reportedly left out of United's pre-season tour to the United States. For a young player trying to establish himself, missing pre-season is a big deal.
Revealed, Benjamin Sesko decides between Man United and Newcastle as transfer saga finally nears end. Benjamin Sesko has reportedly made his decision on where he will be playing next season following months of speculation. The RB Leipzig striker has been at the centre of a fierce transfer battle between Manchester United and Newcastle, with both clubs identifying the 22-year-old as a key summer target. Now, a report in Slovenia claims the highly rated forward has settled on his next move, and it could trigger a major shake-up in the Premier League's striker market. According to Dalot, Sesko has decided to join Newcastle, with the Magpies beating off strong competition from Old Trafford to land one of Europe's most promising young attackers. The Slovenian outlet reports that Newcastle's proposal won out after a drawn-out saga that saw Arsenal, United, and Newcastle all linked. Arsenal dropped out earlier this summer, opting instead for Victor Gyökeres, while United had turned their full attention to Sesko after ending their pursuit of Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins. United's interest was led by Director of Recruitment Christopher Vivell, who previously worked with Sesko at RB Salzburg and has described the 6'4" forward as having the potential to become one of the world's top strikers. Manager Ruben Amorim had also made him a priority, having already brought in Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo to strengthen the attack. But Sesko is now said to have chosen Newcastle, a decision that may be closely tied to the uncertain future of Alexander Isak. Mail Sport revealed on Friday that Liverpool had a £110 million bid for Isak rejected, with Newcastle holding out for £150 million. Isak is believed to be pushing for a move and has been training alone at former club Real Sociedad, having pulled out of the Magpies pre-season tour with an apparent thigh issue. Newcastle have made clear that no sale will go ahead unless a suitable replacement is secured, and Sesko has long been top of their wish list. The Bundesliga side signed Sesko from Red Bull Salzburg in 2023 and have an informal agreement to allow him to leave if a suitable offer is made. It is understood that Newcastle will be expected to pay Leipzig somewhere between £60 million and £70 million plus add-ons. Sesko scored 21 goals in all competitions last season and has 16 goals in 41 senior appearances for Slovenia. He has drawn comparisons to Erling Haaland for his blend of height, pace and technical ability, and is seen by Newcastle as a ready-made replacement should Isak get his wish. As for Man United, they may now be forced to explore alternatives. Amorim's side struggled badly in front of goal last season and were hoping Sesko would be the final piece in a new look-forward line. Rasmus Højlund's future remains unclear, with the Dane insisting he wants to stay and fight for his place, but competition was always expected. United have also made inquiries about Brentford's Yoane Wissa, while Wolves' Jørgen Strand Larsen has been discussed too. Keep across the latest Manchester United news, views and transfer rumours throughout the day with our dedicated live blog. Welcome to the latest Manchester United live transfer blog for Sunday, August 3rd, brought to you by the Manchester Evening News. The summer transfer window is still open, with United continuing to be linked with several potential new signings. United are still showing an interest in signing RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, who is also wanted by Newcastle this summer. There has been a fresh update about the striker's future which may affect United's chances of getting a deal over the line. There are also reports linking United with moves for Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins and Paris Saint-Germain star Randal Kolo Muani. Reports from Spain have also credited United with an interest in signing Barcelona midfielder Fermin Lopez. United have until September 1st to complete their transfer business, and there is likely to be plenty more twists and turns before the window closes next month. Manchester United could be set for a dream final month of the summer transfer window. United badly needed to fix their goal-scoring issues after netting an abysmal 44 goals in the Premier League last term. Chances were regularly squandered by United's attacking players, who all lacked the composure needed to convert goal-scoring opportunities. Those problems have been identified and seem to have been partly addressed with the signings of Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford and Wolves' Matheus Cunha. And yet a truly top squad needs a reliable goal-scoring number 9, and that's why they are chasing a deal for RB Leipzig forward Benjamin Sesko. Sesko verdict delivered. Director of Recruitment, Christopher Vivel, worked alongside a young Sesko during his time at RB Salzburg, and the Slovenia international clearly made an instant impression. In his analysis of the 22-year-old, Vivel claims Sesko has all the attributes to become one of the world's leading players. Benjamin Sesko is among the game's top young talents, and has enormous potential to become a top player, Vivel said, for Bundesliga.com. He has all the qualities to do that. He's extremely quick, has a great jump on him and is strong in the air. Benjamin is a real goalscorer, who despite his 1.95 m, 6 feet 4 inches height, is mobile and technically strong. His abilities make him a special player with a special profile. Benjamin Sesko finally makes his choice, the transfer saga that had everyone talking. Why do Manchester United want him? Manchester United have been looking for a reliable striker for what feels like forever. Ever since Cristiano Ronaldo left the club, they've struggled to find someone who can consistently put the ball in the net. The Red Devils have tried different solutions. They've played Marcus Rashford up front, they've used Anthony Martial, and they've even experimented with other formations. But what they really need is a proper number 9, someone who lives and breathes goals. Sesko fits this description perfectly. At 22, he's young enough to grow with the team but experienced enough to make an immediate impact. Manchester United's manager sees him as the missing piece of their puzzle. Can you imagine having a striker who could turn their near misses into victories? The club's fans are excited about the possibility too. They've been watching other teams score freely while their own team sometimes struggles to find the net. Sesko could change all of that. What about Newcastle's interest? Newcastle United have their own reasons for wanting Sesko. The club has big dreams and even bigger pockets since their takeover. They want to compete with the very best teams in England and Europe. But wanting to compete and actually competing are two different things. Newcastle know they need quality players to match their ambitions. Sesko represents exactly the type of player they're looking for: young, talented, and hungry for success. Think about it from Newcastle's perspective. They are building something special on Tyneside. They've already signed some impressive players, but they need a striker who can be the face of their project. Sesko could be that player. The Newcastle fans have been dreaming about European football and maybe even challenging for trophies. A striker like Sesko could help turn those dreams into reality. Wouldn't it be amazing to see Newcastle competing with Manchester City and Arsenal for the Premier League title? The transfer battle. How did it all start? Transfer rumors in football are like wildfire. They spread quickly and are hard to control. Big news this morning. Ready to fly. Fabrizio Romano drops Benjamin Sesko to Man United. Update with personal terms agreed, ASAP claim made. Manchester United are closing in on completing a deal for RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko is set to sign for Manchester United after deciding to join the Red Devils instead of Newcastle. Sesko told Newcastle that his intention was to join Manchester United, with it claimed earlier on August 6 that talks were advancing over a deal. Now transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has delivered an update over the highly anticipated transfer move. Manchester United are holding talks with RB Leipzig to finalize a deal, amid a warning that United's initial offer risked falling short. Fabrizio Romano reports that once the agreement between clubs is confirmed, developments could happen quickly. He claims Sesko is ready to fly to Manchester to seal the deal, with personal terms agreed with the Slovenia international striker. He adds that United aim to conclude the deal as quickly as possible. Romano posted on X, Manchester United and RB Leipzig, in direct talks again to adjust fee package and add-ons, trying to get it done ASAP. Quick Sesko deal benefits United. Manchester United submitted an offer for Benjamin Sesko on August 5, worth a total of £73 million including add-ons. United ideally would love to get a deal wrapped up in time to introduce Sesko at Old Trafford on Saturday, ahead of the friendly match with Fiorentina. The club did the same with Rasmus Højlund in 2023. But it is not just for a feel-good moment that United want a deal done promptly. The Premier League season kicks off the following weekend, with Manchester United hosting Arsenal in the late Sunday kickoff. Ruben Amorim would love to have Sesko involved in some capacity, but the striker will need to get some training sessions in at Carrington and prove his fitness. Whether about a raft of redundancies or free lunches for staff being scrapped, news surrounding Manchester United's finances has not been positive, which will have left fans wondering how they are able to fund a move for RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, amid a £200 million refurbishment of their attack for next season. The answer lies in some clever financing of their summer transfers both in and out, and some of the reports of their debt being greatly exaggerated. If Manchester United sneeze, football catches a cold, football finance expert Kieran Maguire told BBC Sport. It is the biggest brand in English football. The redundancies do look severe, but that is the Ineos business model. They have done that at other companies. Whether it will work in football, we have to wait and see. United sources previously outlined to the BBC's chief football news reporter Simon Stone how it is possible for them to reach an agreement on Sesko, even though co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe said earlier this year there was the potential for the club to go bust by Christmas without massive cost-cutting measures. Payment arrangements totaling £130 million for the deals this summer for Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, from Wolves and Brentford respectively, have been arranged in a favourable way. It is likely any deal for Sesko would be arranged similarly, with the payment spread over the length of the player's contract. In addition, the entirety of Marcus Rashford's £325,000 a week salary is being covered by his loan move to Barcelona, and Manchester United received £5 million from Chelsea after the Blues pulled out of a deal to sign Jadon Sancho. Manchester United have also received more than £15 million in payments as part of sell-on clauses involving Anthony Elanga, Alvaro Carreras and Maxi Oydiel. RB Leipzig have confirmed Benjamin Sesko is training away from his teammates as speculation over his move to Manchester United ramps up. Despite competition from Newcastle, the Red Devils are confident that Sesko favours a move to Old Trafford this summer, and discussions are ongoing with Leipzig to seal a complete club-to-club agreement. United have tabled a €75 million, £65.3 million, plus €10 million, £8.7 million, in add-ons bid in an attempt to secure Sesko. Newcastle have proposed a more lucrative package to Leipzig, but the player's preference is expected to be decisive. Sesko has been training separately from his teammates this week while negotiations over his future progress, and Leipzig confirmed on Wednesday morning that the 22-year-old was again working individually. In a brief statement, Leipzig said, Wednesday squad update, Andrea Maximovic is back in Leipzig, but is training individually today. Benjamin Sesko and Lucas Klostermann are also working individually, reports the Manchester Evening News. United moving forward to sign Sesko means Rasmus Højlund faces an uncertain future at Old Trafford. Højlund has insisted he wants to stay and fight for his place, but United are ready to take a loss to sell him this summer. The men reported on Wednesday that Højlund is resigned to being forced out by United if Sesko signs.